Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. I'm moved to come to you and speak to you this moment. I was just watching the information that comes on the internet, information you will never get off of the major networks. And you find out so many things that's going on, and you find out the different approaches and the different responses to the observations, how they vary, and how confusing it could be, and how it seems as if everybody see it in a certain way, and when they make their presentations, they're doing it as though they're trying to draw people to their point of view, that they might be able to see it as clear as you who are giving this information. And if you really took a stand back, you find out that the information that you're giving sometimes is just as confusing as the information that you are attacking. And so you got everybody going their different ways, and nobody really bringing people together, but only to a certain point of view. You know, so I hear people talking about President Obama, the Antichrist. You hear a lot of that. Miss Obama, a man. You hear people talking about Muslims coming over, taking over America, this point of view and that point of view, and prophecy. And it really troubles me, because we talk about everything and we talk about everyone in a negative way. But the truth is, if this is all we got, then those that we talk about are we ourselves. You talk about God, but God got answers. The people don't. So what if every living thing is negative, and the only thing that's positive? You who are positive, how do you get all of that negative to turn positive? It knows what it is. What it doesn't know is what this great thing is that you are about. So we should spend our time talking about how great we are, how great what we are about is, and not just words, in such a way that people can see it. Those in darkness can see it and want it. Not condemnation. Condemnation is not going to draw anybody to us. We can talk about all the superstars being gay and what role they play in the establishment of music. Okay, so we all know that. How do we fix that? Talking about it, exposing it, is not going to fix it. So we find out why does it exist? We might have people, well, I'm not going to even go into it. The point of it is that we're going to all have our views. So what good is it for us to expose this and that we think is so bad? And then we go right back to the polls and vote for a Republican or a Democrat, those who've given us that anyway. So what I'm saying is this: you might save yourself some trouble. I remember when I was just a kid, I used to think about the greatest thing, the most smoothest operating thing was a family. Everything seems to have a role. Dads had roles, mom had roles, the kids had roles to play, and everything came together for good. And everybody was satisfied, even when you lived on plantation. And I used to think about, after I heard that whole story about Jesus and how wonderful Jesus was, I used to think about that. And I would think about, what if the whole world, all people everywhere, were a family, and they used that same basic principle that any average family uses for the same goal and outcome, to have a wonderful life. The family have a wonderful life. The people of the world have a wonderful life. That's why I used to dream about that. How could that happen? That's what I used to want. Even before I heard of the New World Order, I used to want that. I used to dream of one world government. One world government that made sure that everybody on earth had what was needed to live. And this one world government was not just made up by some people thinking that they got a good idea, but it was made up because it's what the people wanted. The people agreed on it. And it guaranteed them that those necessities that were common amongst each and every one of them would be met. Guaranteed. So that's food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, jobs, all these kinds of things would be guaranteed. One world government. What would be wrong with that? As long as everybody who ever got sick would have health care for them. What's wrong with anybody who needed to travel, and what's wrong with everybody having a job? I mean, what's wrong with these things? So what I'm seeing is that we are not even, none of us it seems, are directed toward a solution. We talk about heaven, going to heaven, where everything is going to be met. What if when you get to heaven, you find out that people do get sick, but they got a system in heaven that addresses fighting against it, prevention. If you get sick, treatment, and get your way, a whole process. So they got a system to do that. So what's wrong with having a system? What's wrong with one world health system that protected all the people? What's wrong with one world education system that allowed everybody to learn as they saw fit, plus had additional stuff? What's wrong with every institution of our lives? We got somebody controlling us anyway, and it's all messed up. So why not just have one that works for all of us to guarantee that everybody participate? And see, in this, we have everybody working, everybody participating in creating the goods and services. So I'm saying this to you because in order for us to get this, you're never going to get it trying to draw people to your cause, because your cause is nothing but a defense of somebody else's cause. It's making them mad. They don't want your cause, they want their own. So think about it. Everybody got a cause, and everybody wants one thing out of their cause, is that they are satisfied. See, the reason they don't want your cause is because they've learned that your cause will not work for them. And you learn the same thing about them, so you got an argument going. But see, there is a way. You've got to put it aside. Stop talking about what you and you have got. You don't have anything if you can't come together. And why would you come together? Because that's the plan. That's the plan, to come together. And when you come together, it's so simple. Now you got a whole big blossom of wonderfulness that you never even anticipated or thought of. I joined the Navy one time to get killed. Next thing you know, I'm traveling all over the world, or a great part of it. Who would have thought? I sure didn't. So what I'm trying to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that you as an individual are going to have to make a decision. Because it's not with a Republican or a Democrat. It's with what's proper and what is not. You have to make a decision about what is proper. And once you make that decision about proper, then that's what you exhibit. You don't have to condemn the world anymore. The world knows there's no count. The world knows they're living it every day. Where you got rich and poor. Where you got racism and discrimination, all these kinds. The world knows that. But what makes you so different? Because you see it and you point it out to me? And condemn me? I don't want to hear your condemnation. Can you help? Show the way. So I say, for me, what's wrong with one world government? Just make sure that you, as an individual, will not settle for any government, small or at the size of the world, that's going to abuse its power that the people have given it. And its abuse is evidence in suffering and pain that comes from what the government is doing. You do that as an individual, not as a group. You do it as an individual. And if all you individuals are doing the same thing, then it's a collective power that cannot be defeated. So I really want and appreciate the fact that you are telling and exposing the things undercover that we would never have known. We really appreciate that. But the solutions that are being offered are not truly solutions if they just draw people to another side of the way of thinking. I heard one woman say, We got to get rid of the establishment government, whether it's Republican or Democrat. So now Donald Trump doesn't look so bad to them, as if Donald Trump is a solution. They're not saying he's a solution. They're just saying that he's different from the establishment. But they don't know what they're getting because they haven't made up their minds what they want. You just want to get rid of them and put somebody else in who they can be lying to you, and you can bet your last money they're lying to you. Was Donald Trump on the streets champion? Oh, let me ask you something. People standing on the streets at every corner with a sign, help the poor. People having no jobs. People who going through all kinds of, you see them, you hear about them on TV. In your solution, how do you fix that? How do you eliminate that? To the Republicans. The Democrats, we have been in office for a while, and all those things still exist. So we know the Democrats can't fix it. Miss Clinton can't fix it. The Democrats cannot fix that. George Bush was in the office 8 years, and that same stuff was going on. Didn't fix it, couldn't fix it. Now, the people accepted it. They didn't like it, but they accepted it. Now, we got a new batch of people coming saying what they can do. And you, who are going through all of this strife, are picking some of these people and going to go vote for them. And you know darn well they can't do a thing for you. They can't do a thing for you. That's all game. You have to change your mind. Those of you who are really suffering, the truth of the matter, people say they do, but under a system that will kill people, people would put your situation at the bottom of the deck. So you have to stand up for yourself. And standing up for yourself, it not only frees you, but it educates other people. It educates people. You know, when somebody stand up and they get shot down, that fear, it spreads. It has its effect. When people stand up knowing that they're willing to lay down their lives, it has its effect. What could really be going on in a person's life? What are they really connected to spiritually that gives them such boldness to stand up in the front of death and tell them to kiss their elbow? I mean, that has its effect. Especially if you're not trying to kill anybody else. I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that this, what I'm telling you, you can try it. It will work. You don't have to, and you won't blame me, because it won't be me making it work. It won't even be God making it work. It'll be you trying, the guidance, the being led by the prescription of truth. Treating people like you want to be treated. You will do it. You will do it. You didn't know you could do that, did you? So, once you learn what's right for you, and it includes no pain and suffering for others, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. And you can share that with people, but what you share with people, you make sure you walk it, because people they don't believe you. You got to show it. And if you show it, it'll be real. But it's foreign. You never tried this before. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. But I can tell you this. It's the sweetest thing I know. So, when you get to heaven, and you will, there's going to be one government. One government. No Republicans, no Democrats, no conservatives, no liberal. It will be almost a dictatorship. You will still have choice. But being there means you are following what got you there. And it will keep you there. You have choice. You can stay right on out of heaven. You can stay right on back on earth if you want to. Or wherever you can go. My point of it is that you got the power to push your suffering aside today, not tomorrow. And it's not predicated based upon who's going to stand with you. It's based upon what you decide is you. What you will take and what you will not. And you don't have to get angry. You just make up your mind. And I'm telling you, there is a power. Now, I want to also say this to you. It is much more easier for a single person to do that. A man or a woman. It's really easy for them because all they got to do is just do it. If you married and got families and you thinking one way and they thinking another way and you going this and you doing that, oh, you up against the bricks. But you get that family together, you become one, oh boy, you sure enough got some power then. Otherwise, you caught in some quicksand. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.